Hey everyone, welcome to today's class. Today we'll be doing a power flow to really energize our bodies and get our sweat going, and just to really make sure we can get our going and getting our bodies moving. So to begin, we'll start off with our legs crossed in a comfortable seated position. And we're going to bring the palms of our hands together and we're just going to roll our wrists out in one direction just to get some movement going and working on our flexibility and mobility. And you can change on over in the other direction. Really just trying to get as much movement going. Just to get our wrists nice and warm. And then we're going to bring our bottoms of our palms out and above our head, pushing as high as we can. And we're just going to gently lean over to the left, feeling a nice stretch in our sides, while focusing on trying to keep our left bum cheek nice and grounded. And then we're going to sit up straight and move on to the other side, leaning over to the left as you feel a nice juicy stretch going on in the right. And coming back to center, we're going to take our right hand, bringing the top of our hand to the mat and sliding it underneath our right bum cheek as we tilt our head over to the left, maybe placing our left hand onto our right ear to feel a nice little stretch going on in our necks. And releasing your head and your hand. Move on to the other side. Left hand down, right ear down to right shoulder, and our right hand onto our left ear. Just feel a nice little stretch going on in the sides. And with that, you can release. You can bring both your hands down to the mat. You can come meet me in all fours. And then, yeah, we're just going to go in a big circular motion with our bodies over our wrists. Just getting as much movement in our bodies as we can. Really exaggerating as much movement as we just get our spines and our hips nice and warm. And you can swap over in the other direction if you haven't. Just really feeling into the movement. Meeting me in stillness now, we're going to untuck our toes and just hover our knees just a few centimeters off the mat. And from here, we're just going to rock back and forth, focusing on keeping that hovering tabletop as we feel our legs and our thighs really engage and warm up. And then coming into a stillness, we're going to go into a cat-cow. So keeping your knees off the mat, taking a deep inhale, dipping our bellies down. And then as you exhale, chin to chest as we round our backs. Just going through your motions as we match our movements with our breath. And on your last round, you can meet me in stillness, still keeping your knees off. We're now just going to take one step back with our right foot, keeping our toes just off the mat as we hold it for 2, 3, 4. And we're going to bring it back and swap over to the other side, straightening our left leg, keeping our right leg bent for 2, 3, 4. and bring it back. Now we're just gonna hold it one last time, really engaging your core and your quads. As you hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can release and relax. And from here, you can just shift your knees a little bit back as you come to lay on your bellies with your forearms out in front of us. We're going to lift our chest up, pulling our shoulders back as you come meet me for Sphinx as we inhale. And then as you exhale, you can bring your hands below your shoulders again, tucking your back toes. And you can meet me in a downward facing dog. From your down dog, you can start with your right leg kicking up nice and high, keeping that leg nice and straight. And then as you exhale, bending your knee, placing your foot between your hands. As you raise up, coming into a high crescent lunge, toes pointing forward, squaring our hips. As we hold your full breath. And then as we exhale, we're going to frame our front foot, bring your hands down to mat, kicking back into a plank. And as you exhale, you can chaturanga down, bending elbows. And on your inhale, you can either go back into a Sphinx, or you can keep your hands below your shoulders as you push up for an upward facing dog. And then on your exhale, tucking your toes back into your downward facing dog. Left leg kicking up nice and high for an inhale. Exhale, placing your foot between your hands. And then raising up into your high lunge. Really focusing on keeping your front knee over your front ankle. So you hold your full breath. And on your exhale, bring your hands down to mat. Kicking back into your plank as you hold your here for an inhale. Then exhaling all the way down. Inhale for an upward facing dog. Before exhaling back into our downward facing dog. Moving back to our right side, right leg taking up nice and high, keeping that leg as straight as you can. Then exhaling, foot between your hands. You can meet me in your high crescent lunge. Then exhaling, we're going to bring our left hand forward, right hand back as we come into a twisted high lunge. Focusing on trying to keep a nice straight line between the front hand and your back hand. And then cartwheeling our hands down to the mat, kicking back into our plank. And once more, exhaling to lower down. Inhale for your upward facing dog or your cobra, or maybe you can lift your thighs for an upward dog before exhaling back into your downward facing dog. Left leg going up nice and high now for an inhale. Exhale, foot between your hands. Inhale for your high crescent lunge. And then exhaling to open up right hand forward, left hand back. And cartwheel down. Taking back into a plank, holding for an inhale. And exhale to lower down. Inhale for your back bend of choice. And finally exhale to downward facing dog. Once more, right leg kicking up nice and high for an inhale. Exhale, place your foot down. Inhale for your high lunge. Exhale for your twist. Then on your inhale, you're going to lift your left hand up, bringing your right hand down to reverse your high crescent lunge. Then bring your hands back to your T shape before cartwheeling it back down, back into your plank. and go through your flow. Left leg kicking up nice and high. Exhale to place your foot down. Inhale for high lunge. Exhale to twist. And inhale to reverse. Left hand down, right hand overhead. Then cartwheeling hands back down to mat. Kicking back into your plank. And matching your movements with your breath. Almost done. Right leg kicking up again. Exhale to place your foot down. Inhale for a high lunge. Exhale to open up. Inhale to reverse your warrior. And exhale back into your twist. We're going to bring our left hand down to the mat next to your right foot and opening up to the right, keeping our right hand up for an easy twist. You can bring your right hand down, kicking back into your plank, and go into your vinyasa flow. Left leg foot going up for an inhale. Exhale to place your foot down between your hands. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to open out. Inhale to reverse. Exhale to come back up. And bringing your right hand down next to your left foot. And keeping your left hand up as you open out to the left for your twist. And left and back down to mat. Kicking back into your plank. And going through the flow. Going through our final round. Right leg kicking up nice and high. Exhale down. Inhale to rise. Exhale to open up. Inhale to reverse. Exhale to come back into a twist. And bringing your left hand down. And then from our twist, you're going to kick your right leg back to your left leg, coming to a side plank. If it's a little bit too much for you, you can bring your left leg down, kickstanding it out to the side for an assisted plank. Or for those of us who want to go for a little bit of a challenge, you can start raising your right leg up, open up almost like a star. Holding for a breath. Before bringing hands down to mat, into plank. And for the last time on this side, go into your flow. Now left leg kicking up last time. Exhale to place your foot down. Inhale to rise. Exhale to open up. Inhale to reverse. Exhale back into a twist. Bringing right hand down. And then kicking your left leg back into your side plank. And doing whatever variation you did on the other side. Bring your feet back together. Bring your hand out to mat. And for the last time, exhale to lower. And now for your back bend of choice. before exhaling back into our downward facing dog. Great stuff, guys. Now we can just walk our hands back to our feet, to the back of the mat, coming to a forward fold. We can just take a moment to catch our breath here, letting our whole upper body hang nice and loose. Maybe grabbing our elbows for a rag doll. And you just let gravity do all the work for us. You can meet me back in stillness. You can release your elbows if you're holding them. You can take a deep inhale, lifting our chest up halfway, keeping our back nice and straight. Before exhaling back into our forward fold, you need to grab in the backs of our legs, pulling our chest a little bit closer to our knees before releasing and relaxing. We're going to heel toe our feet just a little bit closer together. And then on our next exhale, we're going to lower our hips down, lifting our hands above our head as we come into a chair, focusing on trying to keep our knees behind our toes. And for those of us looking for a little bit of an extra challenge, you can lift your heels off the mat, coming into a flying chair. Holding here for a breath. Before bringing your knees down, straightening your legs, and come back into a fold. And once more, lifting your hands above your head, bending your knees, lowering your hips back into your chair. We're now going to bring our hands to heart center, and we're going to twist over to the left, twisting to the left, placing our right elbow onto our left knee, coming to a chair twist. And for those of us who are feeling a bit stronger, you can open your hands out, bring your right hand down, left hand up, for a variation of an open twist. And then bring palms back to center, coming to stand, and straighten your legs as you come back in our fold. And then one last time, one last chair, lowering our hips, bending our knees, hands to heart center, and then twisting to the right, left elbow onto right knee, and then if you want, opening your hands out to the right. Palms back together, meeting to center, and then from our chair, you just lower all the way down. You can meet me in a seated position. They're going to meet me in a boat pose. So leaning back on your tailbone, you're going to lift your legs up, keeping them either bent, or you can go for the extra challenge, straighten them all the way out. We're just going to hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then from here, we're just going to lower our legs all the way down to the mat, keeping our chest up before raising our legs back up straight. If your legs were bent, all you can do is just straighten your legs out in front of you and then bend them back. Going to do 2 more. As we exhale to lower, inhale to rise. Last one, lower, and then rise. And finally, you can just lower everything down, meeting me on your backs. Just taking a moment to catch your breaths. And then when you're ready, you can bend your knees, bringing your heels as close to your bum as you can, to a point where you can touch your ankles with your fingers. Then we're just going to raise our hips and then our lower back. And then one vertebra at a time. You can meet me in a bridge pose, getting a nice straight line from your knees to your shoulders. And with your hand, you can either leave them at your sides, you can clasp them below your lower back. And for that one last extra challenge, you can maybe lift your heels, coming up onto your tippy toes. Releasing your hands, lowering your heels back down. As you lay our whole back all the way down to the mat. And we're just gonna windscreen wipe our legs from side to side. Just give ourselves a little bit of a back release. And we're gonna keep our left leg bent. So we're gonna place our right ankle onto our left knee, laying our hands out to the side. We're just gonna let our legs fall over to the left as we come into a bit of a twist. Then raising our legs back to center, swapping them over. Right leg bent, left ankle onto right knee, and falling it over to the right. Just focus on keeping our left shoulder nice and grounded. And then bring everything back to center, straightening our legs out in front of us, laying our arms by our sides as we enter our final pose of the practice of Shavasana. Just clearing our minds, evening out our breath as we relax every muscle, bone, and tendon in our body. And then deepening your breath, bringing awareness back into your mind and body, slowly waking it up by wiggling your fingers and your toes. You can bend your knees and hug them into your chest, give them a light little squeeze. And then when you're ready, you can meet me in a seated position, your eyes still closed. We just take a moment to reflect. Notice how we feel. And then when you're ready, you can bring your palms to heart center. As you take one last inhale together. And then on our exhale, bowing to close our practice. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you found a bit of the sweat going. Please let me know if you enjoyed it and what I can do next. And once more, I hope to see you guys again next time on the yoga mat.